How to break a bad habit with an effective mindset shift. In order to break a bad habit, it is important to have an effective mindset shift. We all have bad habits that we want to break. But breaking these habits can be difficult and frustrating. However, there are ways to make the process easier and more successful. One of the best ways is through an effective mindset shift. Mindset shifts are like turning a switch in your brain from one way of thinking to another way of thinking. They require you to change your perspective on an issue or situation and see it in a different light. The first step in this process is understanding what your habit is, why you do it, and what triggers it. This will help you understand how your brain works when you engage in this behavior and how you can change the behavior for good by changing the triggers for the habit or replacing them with new habits that will serve as healthier substitutes for the old ones. This article will outline some steps on how to create an effective mindset shift that will. Why you need retention from bad habits in your life. Bad habits can be hard to break. We don't want to think about the consequences of our actions. It's easier to just do what we're doing now, even if it will lead us down a bad path. But we have to remember that there is always a way out. We can find ways to fix these bad habits and get back on track with our lives. What is retention? Retention is the act of retaining your customers by providing them with an excellent customer service. The best way to retain your customers is by providing them with a personalized experience. The concept of retention is not new, but it has gained more popularity in recent years. In the past, most companies focused on acquiring their customers and then figuring out how to keep them. However, this approach has changed and now retaining your customer base is just as important as acquiring new ones. Why retention matters in the fight against bad habits. A study by the University of Pennsylvania found that people who successfully kicked a bad habit, such as smoking or overeating, typically did so because they were able to change their environment. The reason for this is that people are more likely to give up a bad habit if it is difficult to do in their current environment. If they can't smoke at work, for example, then they'll be less likely to smoke at home. How to use a mindset shift to break and maintain good habits. The first step to changing habits is to identify the triggers that prompt the habit. This can be done by asking oneself what they are doing when they are in the moment of performing the habit. Once this is done, it is important to find an alternative and more desirable behavior that can be done instead. One should then create a plan for how to implement this new behavior. It is also important to set a deadline for when one wants to achieve this new behavior, and make sure that one has some accountability. Why you need retention from bad habits in your life to succeed. People with bad habits are not doomed to a life of failure. You can have success in your life even if you have bad habits. All you need is the right mindset and the right tools to help you deal with your bad habits that are holding you back. The first step is identifying what your triggers are and what they do to you. You need to know when these triggers happen, how they make you feel, and what kind of thoughts come up in your head when these triggers happen. By knowing all this information, it will be easier for you to change those thoughts into something positive or productive. One common trigger that many people experience is the feeling of jealousy or envy. It comes in a variety of forms, including seeing someone else get something you want, seeing a good job posting for an open position, or seeing someone has more stuff than you do. The negative thoughts that come with this trigger are usually things like I wish I could have something / somebody ______, and that person does not deserve what they have and someday I will take it from them. Halt the tears and change your thoughts to something positive, like I'm going to work hard at my job and make a lot of money so I can give everyone else what they deserve. Replace negative thoughts of violence or theft with positive thoughts like I will do good deeds for other people so they can be happy and feel grateful towards me. Introducing the secrets of successful people to you. There are many secrets to success, but in this article I will be focusing on a few of them. Successful people are focused on their goals and they know what they want. They are also persistent and they never give up. They have a plan for themselves, and they work hard to achieve it. They also have a network of people that support them, and they believe in themselves. They take care of their health and wellness, which is very important when you want to be successful in life. What are the reasons why people get disciplined? There are many reasons why people get disciplined. The most common reason is when they break the rules, such as not showing up for work on time, or not doing their job properly. Other reasons for disciplining an employee include bad behavior, such as yelling at a customer or being rude to a coworker. The consequences of getting disciplined can be serious and can lead to termination of employment. They may also include a verbal warning or written warning from the supervisor, and/or a letter of discipline from the company to the employee. How is discipline important for some habits? One of the things that is important for some habits is discipline. Discipline is a skill that people need to learn in order to do something on a regular basis. It can be difficult to develop this skill, but it is worth the effort because it helps people reach their goals. The types of behaviors that can cause addictions and effects on our health. Addictions are a popular topic of discussion in society, but what are they and how do they affect us? Addiction is defined as the compulsive use of a substance or behavior despite its negative effects. Addictions can be caused by a variety of factors, but the most common include genetics, environment, mental health disorders, and trauma. Addictions can have many effects on our health, including physical, for example, withdrawal symptoms, emotional, for example, depression, social, for example, isolation, spiritual, for example, guilt, and mental, for example, poor concentration. In some cases, addiction can lead to death if left untreated or if the substance is used excessively over time. How to break the cycle of bad habits and create a positive lifestyle. It's important to understand that habits are learned behaviors. It's not about changing the behavior, but instead changing the routine. The key to breaking a bad habit is to create a new routine that will eventually become a new habit. The first step in breaking bad habits is understanding why you have them in the first place. This will give you an idea of what your triggers are and what you can do to avoid them in the future. Next, find a replacement for your old habit, preferably one that doesn't have any negative consequences and is something you enjoy doing. Finally, replace your old routine with this new one until it becomes second nature. Why bad habits are so hard to break. Bad habits are hard to break because the brain's dopamine system is activated when we engage in them. It's a survival instinct that makes us want to do things that feel good, even if they are not good for us. People who have bad habits often say that they don't know how to stop. They're addicted to their bad habit and need help breaking it. What is the habit loop and why do we get stuck in its cycle? The habit loop is a three-step process that starts with a cue, moves on to the routine, and concludes with a reward. The habit loop is a three-step process that starts with a cue, moves on to the routine, and concludes with a reward. The cue could be anything from seeing an advertisement for your favorite chocolate bar to feeling hungry after lunch. The routine consists of your actions in response to the cue, for example, buying, eating. And finally, your reward is what you get for completing this cycle of behavior, for example, feeling satisfied. This loop is at work in many aspects of our lives, from brushing teeth and taking showers to exercising and reading books. It's also important for marketers who want people to buy their products or services. They need to find ways of getting customers into this habit cycle so they can reap rewards over time by locking consumers into their product or service loops. Habits are learned behaviors. What if there was a way to rewrite them? We discusses how habits are learned behaviors and that there is a way to rewrite them. It also discusses how habits can be changed with the help of mindfulness and self-awareness. Habits are learned behaviors, and they can be changed. Mindfulness and self-awareness are two practices that can help you change your habit patterns, according to psychologist Dr. James Clear. Clear says that becoming mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations is a key factor in changing bad habits because it helps you become aware of what triggers the habit in the first place. In addition to mindfulness, Dr. Clear advises people to make their goals specific and measurable so they know when they've achieved them.